Greetings, magnificent galactic spirit. Welcome to your 13-day adventure into your inner wizardry. Now, I love this energy, but I love them all, and I think you should love them too, because each one of these 20 energies are your birthrights into wholeness. And hopefully you've been seeing over our time together that every single energy is part of all of the others and perpetuates your ability to reach higher and higher states within each of these 13-day adventures or houses, and exploring every daily energy with the quick 2 to 3 minute open-eyed meditation is what's going to be valuable for you to really tap into your inner wizard, because having practiced galactic spirit in depthly for over 10 years, I really feel strongly that the best and only way to access your inner wizard is to step into the fifth dimension. Now, what does that mean? That means that you need to be in a quiet place in order to receive guidance from beyond what your normal perceptions are. And how did I mention that to integrate all of the energies? When we did the cycle of Eagle gave us the insight to expand our perceptions with a bird's eye view as well as a focus. So how do we do that with Wizard? If we are quiet and we're tapping into one of our other birthrights, which is Skywalker, we're being a channel in order to connect ourselves to the third dimensional world and the ever expanding universal world in order for our inner wizard to really connect and really be receptive to the energies that are brought forth with the divine messages, which is our purpose of connecting to our inner wizard. Now, our inner wizard is something we've inherited from many lifetimes, if you want to look at it that way, and why we are alive at this time. We are living in an unprecedented time. The Mayan calendar has stopped. In essence, it has been rebooted. We are traveling in an uncharted territory, and that territory is to discover the unknown. Where were we? Last cycle we were in Dragon. Go back into the creative womb to rediscover who you are, to reinvent yourself, to have that phoenix rising, to breathe fire, burning away all your obstacles in your path for initiating discovery. So we globally, our collective galactic spirits, are going through this regenesis and rebirth into connecting to our higher consciousness, of which that is where our inner wizard is residing. We were born at this time. We were inherited with this ability. All we need to do is to tap into it and ask, hey, are you there? Are you listening? Now, there are people who are very, very skilled at doing this. These are mediums. Maybe you know people that are very psychically attuned. Maybe they talk to dead people. Whatever the case may be, this is our natural inheritance. They are just more practiced at it than others. In fact, I've got a girlfriend who even went to psychic school, and she developed and honed our practice. But through galactic spirit, when you're paying attention to the one birthright energy a day, you are honing your ability as well, just doing your own school at your own pace in your own time, while watching how every daily galactic daily energy unfolds within circumstances of your life. And as you start seeing the synchronicities unfold for you, you're going to start being able to control your mind. You're the boss of your mind. Your mind's not the boss of you, even though sometimes you might think it, when it's spinning and spinning and spinning and replaying the same film in your head over and over again. That's when it's the boss of you. But Galactic Spirit says, no, I am not going to allow this spin in my mind to control me. I'm going to control my mind. And paying attention to these energies on a daily basis and seeing the synchronicities unfold for you, you're going to want to do it more. You're going to want to pay attention to them more and more, because the magic will start exponentially accelerating. The same thing is true with your emotional body. Your emotions have a lot of attached trauma to them and self-sabotage. So if you are the boss of your emotions as compared to your emotions being the boss of you, that's when the fifth dimensional energies and consciousness start coming through, and you can be a channel for these divine messages and have access to the Akash. What is the Akash? The Akashic records are the past, present, and future of all that exists, in order to be able to have insights into whatever it is that you're questioning to have insight into. And we're going to talk about how to receive insights a little bit later in this broadcast. But for now, I want to explain where we are now in the cycle of our galactic spirit, because we're all walking the same path together in synergy. And I don't know if I've mentioned this nugget before. This is a scientific and numerological system, and this system, which has perfect mathematical relationship, astronomical relationships. I don't want to get into the how and whys of that now, but when you start studying the hows and whys, it all works. It's perfectly mathematically attuned and astronomically attuned. It is a brilliant system. I have found no flaws in it. And when the point that I was going to make is, we are all traveling the same energy together. So every daily energy, we are all experiencing that energy together. Everyone who's practicing Galactic Spirit or other Mayan traditions are experiencing these energies at the same time. So what that is doing for us personally is, these energies of wholeness are going out into the galactic spirit universally. So it's out in the auric field, it's out into the Akash, it's out into the divine matrix, it's out and vibrating with source. So it's in the field. The energy of the day is in the field, so you can be more receptivity. It's almost like be more receptive to it. It's like having the wind at your sails. And Shaman the shaman wizard is really enhanced receptivity of these energies that are out in the field, according to the divinity of the daily symbol and the daily horoscope and your daily birthright, depending on how you want to look at it. I feel very strongly that all of these energies are birthrights that we have inherited, that we might have forgotten. And the stronger we develop each of these 260 birthrights, the more, one a day. It's so simple. They're all fractals of each other. We talked about fractals in our last meeting when we were talking about dragon, that these fractals are parts of ourselves that continue to be enhanced. Here's our map of consciousness. We are starting to travel almost down the second We're finishing the first column of magnetics and feeling and setting the intention and the initiations, and then we're moving into coming the second channel, which is all about overcoming duality. We are not separate from the whole. My galactic spirit, my personal galactic spirit, is part of the universal galactic spirit, and you and I are connecting bridges, and that is our wizardry to be able to connect to this divine field and this divine matrix. Where are we in our castles? Remember, we are traveling the house of wizard, and we're getting the keys to how we can enhance our wizard in order to have the keys of our castle. There are 5 castles that are always in constant rotation, and the first castle is known as the red castle. I'm just reminding you where we are every time so you know where we are, and it's instinctual awareness. We are initiating our ascension, and we are building upon each of these energies into wholeness. And as a reminder, we've got 13 days of wizard to enhance the wizardry within ourselves in order to lock and load what really feeling like wizard is in our consciousness, so we can call upon it anytime and really use wizard as a catalyst for stepping into the 5th dimension. And the last a broadcast that I did when we were talking about dragon, the womb of creation, and redefining your future. This is where we were last time. As the, I love props, as the first initiator of our red instinctual awareness castle, we have to rebirth first in order to tap into our wizardry. And what we talked about was how you can quickly step into the 5th dimension. And we've been practicing how to do that by connecting through the bottom of your feet to the crystalline grid of the earth, to the cosmic core of the earth that's holding all past, present, and future memories, going up through our chakra system, going through the seat of our soul, our heart chakra, going through our pineal, the seat of our consciousness, through the portal, our crown chakra, and really tapping our light beam, our 360-degree sphere of light beam that is our 5th dimensional body, into the universal galactic field. And that is and we've been practicing that on a lot, and going in through detail, actually kind of doing the meditation with that. But I'm hoping that we are starting to learn how to just drop into those energies quickly now, because that is the place of the 5th dimension, and that is where your wizard lies. So within these next 13 days, I highly recommend practicing connecting your 360-degree sphere of light to the crystalline core, being the channel to connect, because that is our ultimate goal, where we want to live in our 3rd dimensional world. What does that mean? If we are always connecting to the crystalline grid and the universal galactic field, the source, complete inheritances of our expanding consciousness, whatever you want to call it, the Akash. If you are living in that presence where your electromagnetic frequency is raised to be able to tap into that all the time, then you are being this beam of light with evolved consciousness and an evolved multidimensional body. That's our objective. And the wizard helps us get there faster. And it doesn't really matter how you do it. You can either get in like I just mentioned. My electromagnetic body is buzzing like crazy right now. But I practice every day. So practice this every day. In fact, while you're watching the daily video of your daily birthright, go ahead, really start vibing and feeling the magnetics in your body. Body is magnetic, mind is electric, connecting the electricity of your mind all the way through your body, and really start beaming that electromagnetic frequency, then you can pretty much tap into your inner wizard at any time and start living in conscious presence in third dimension. You know, what we do, what we talk, you know, our jobs, our family, our you know, everything that we do in our lives, but we're doing it from a higher vibrational place. That's living within fifth dimensional consciousness in our third dimensional world. Breathe into that. Feel your body vibe. That's it. I don't know if I've mentioned this for a while, but the space between your cells, or the no space, as scientists call it. The scientists say that it's empty DNA, empty space. It's DNA that's not doing anything, which isn't true at all. That's your light waiting to be switched on, which is the mental, electric, physical, magnetic body that is switching on the no space in your cells. That's what beams light. 2, beaming this channel to the no space in our ever-expanding universe. It's the star stuff. It's the light stuff. It's the energy stuff. And that's where we're aspiring to live within. So with Wizard, you can say, how do I enter the Akash? And maybe that's a way to get in. Feel like a magical wizard. I get in with my electromagnetic frequency. It doesn't matter how you get in, but the objective is to connect higher and higher to this universal genius. And as I mentioned earlier, you wouldn't be alive if at this time, if in fact you didn't have the full capacity to do that. And Galactic Spirit practicing every birthright is a method to do that. So your inner wizard is the messenger of your divine mind. You can tap in at any time. You are this magnificent galactic wizard, but guess what? You have to know you're one. You know, the same way you know that you're a man, or know that you're a woman, or know that you like chocolate over vanilla, or whatever the case may be, knowing you are a wizard with this full inherited capacity is exactly the same, and the first step into accessing your wizard. And you're already ready to do it because we've already traveled into the unknown, rebirthing, going into the creative womb to know that we can become anything that we want, that we are all of our birthrights, all 20 of them, and the fractalized nuances of that 20 of them. Breathe. And during Wizard, just want to remind you of how the fractals of your wholeness works. 13 days, Start thinking about it. As simply as each one of these days has a different energy, and you can go tap into those. There's charts on galacticspirit.com and videos on it, but start, but if you understand this concept, then you'll understand it all. You start thinking about it. You start thinking about it more and more. You start integrating it. You integrate it, and then you start releasing. You start giving it away. You start beaming your light. You start beaming your wizardry, and then you feel gratitude and fulfilled. So it's like it's like the alpha and the omega. These energies keep spiraling up ever deeper and deeper in experiencing all of your birthrights. And just as a reminder, not only are you spiraling up day by day with the progression of enhanced receptivity and tapping into the genius of your fifth dimensional world, which everybody has access to. Remember, it is your Akashic inheritance to be able to do this. It's just a question of practice. Every day is a nuance of one of your birthrights. Let me show you in this grid. Here we are in Wizard right here, and every day, day by day, there's there's a nuance of that day. What do I mean? Day number 1 of Wizard. Day number 1 is Wizard of Wizard. The first day, the magnetic day of every cycle, is always the same, because we really want to drop into what Wizard looks like and start questioning how is Wizard going to enhance your life, and how is seeing the unseen at a moment's notice going to be helpful to you. And then as you go through the days, we're going to experience a fractalized birthright of Wizard. Same thing happens every cycle, but day number 2 of Wizard is, and we talked about this at the top, I think, with Eagle. Eagle's all about expanding views, broader views. How do you see and soar from an eagle perspective? Not only see beyond the horizon, but have a bird's eye view, which is all about wizardry, isn't it? Look at the fractals of these energies. Next is warrior. Are you brave enough? Do you have courageous determination to tap into your Akash, to see beyond the scene, to make conscious choices? Are you willing to live in fifth dimensional world and access your shaman self? Earth, are you paying attention to the synchronicities that evolve by accessing your enchanted receptivity? Next, mirror. I love mirror. You're not supposed to like one more than the other, but I like mirror. I love mirror because it's a reflection. How are you reflecting your shamanistic power to yourself? And how are you reflecting that to others? And are others being a reflection of you? Mirror is fascinating. I mean, every single energy is fascinating. So the mirror of your receptivity. Storm. Sometimes when you see the unseen and you're being having enchanted receptivity, wherever you are on the wheel, the storm energy says break down to break through. Are you seeing your true self? Your true self is your inner wizard, because you're tapped into your collective. Your innate superpower is your birthright and why we came into the planet. Next day, on the 7th day, is universal enlightenment through your receptivity. A great day, a great way to enhance your inner shaman, because you are tapped into and connected to universal enlightenment. Next, dragon, we are upside down. Dragon, we talked about dragon a minute ago. Here's another thing. On the 8th day of Wizard, what you can do is you can reflect upon the cycle of dragon, go back to your creative womb, go back into your regenesis and your phoenix rising. How can you rise your consciousness even more? How can you breathe fire into enhanced receptivity? Look how all of these nuances, now I'm just giving you ideas of how these are going to manifest in your life and how you are going to receive all of those when you watch the daily videos. But start thinking about them in your day, because you're going to see how specific circumstances in your life are going to be manifested by the energy of the day. And as I said a little bit earlier, the wings are in all of our collective cells, because we are all experiencing these same energies every day, and the energy is in the field. So when you tap into the fifth dimension with your shaman self and you have your mediumship into the Akash, you're going to see the synchronicities in perfect alignment, and the manifestation of these energies and what you want to accomplish in your life, in your third dimensional world, specifically living with joy and greater ease, is going to show up for you. Day number 9. The energy of wind, it's being a channel. It's like you being the hollow part of the bamboo, connecting to heaven, connecting to earth. Wonderful micro fractal of your shaman self. Increase this hollow bamboo with wind, and that allows you to be more since it has no blockages, it's allowing you to be even more receptive. This is night, isn't it? Planetary night. Night is about unlimited abundance. When you go up into the fifth dimension and you see your infinite capabilities, that is what night allows you to do. The night keeps expanding the universe. There are no boundaries. There are no boundaries to your shaman self. That's why practiced mediums can talk to dead people. It's just merely another dimension that is existing simultaneously to our own. That's quantum string theory. We'll talk about, I think we talked about that one day. We can talk about it again if you like. Okay. There's a page on Galactic Spirit about that. The next day, day number 10 is, where is it? With your shaman self, is being a seed. Let's say you're not so good at connecting to your inner shaman or enhanced receptivity. It's okay. We'll have many times to go through it again, not only with the fractals, but with the 13-day adventure. You'll have plenty of time to do that. But guess what? You're planting seeds. And what does a seed do? A seed is a micro speck of the whole, with all the nutrients it has inherently in its consciousness to grow into a mighty tree. How cool is that? So if your inner shaman, you're not quite secure about it, it's okay. You are growing into the mighty, you are seeding your capacity to grow into your inner shaman, grow into your magical wizard, and to live with enhanced receptivity. Next day is serpent. Serpent, initiating passion. How are you loving playing and dancing with your wizard? Serpent is the catalyst of quickening, better and better. You know, in Judeo-Christian, I don't want to call it mythology because I don't want to upset anybody, but with Judeo-Christian, I need a word. Creation stories. There you go. That's a good way to do that. The serpent gave Adam and Eve the apple of knowledge. The serpent is also the Kundalini life force within. So here's the life force of your ability to have enhanced receptivity. These are the fractals. And on the last day, we are bridging worlds. Isn't that awesome? Put it in the screen. Day number 13 is the bridging the world of your third dimension, of what you think is solid form, into the ever expanding consciousness of the divine matrix, of unlimited potential. You are bridging worlds. You as a galactic spirit are the bridge between third dimensional world and our ability to live in fifth dimensional world. That is your genius. That is your superpower. You, me, and we are the bridges that is going to enlighten the world just by our own personal enlightenment. The more we radiate our frequency in the fifth dimension, being a model for others, the more the tipping point of the shift into the humanitarian shift into higher consciousness is going to be a reality for all of us. Isn't that magical? Isn't that magical, dear shaman, dear wizard, with your ability to receive divine messages and to live in fifth dimensional consciousness? Before we close, let me give you 2 different ways that I like working with my wizard, other than just being there and living in fifth dimensional space, so I can see with beyond my 5 senses circumstances that are surrounding me in my daily experience. Keep in mind that you're always moving in and out. The more you practice, the more you're in. The less complicated your mind and the less complicated your emotions, the more you can be in that space. That's where we're all aspiring to be, to live in fifth dimensional space all the time. So how do you work with your wizard? There's 2 different ways that I work with it. You might figure out some others, so let me know so I can share that and help others. One way is whenever I'm in a situation where I do not know the answer to, instead of really trying to force an answer, I'll tap in to the Akashic, into the fifth dimension, and in my quiet, without attachment to the outcome, without a projection of how I want the end of the story to play out, or I will ask a very specific question. And I will raise my emotional feeling with gratitude and abundance and inner knowing that the magic that's going to show up, the answer that's going to show up, the divine message that's going to be dropped in will be the perfect answer. And then I let it go. And I go about my day, I go about my experience. And all of a sudden, whether it's the same day or the day after, I think about the question and boom, the answer is there. Trust your instincts, they will be there for you. Work with the birthright of warrior. It's all about bravery and trust. See how all the energies are intertwined and entangled? The other way is to be general. I want to write a book. I want to start a business. I want to find my beloved. Whatever that is. First you say, I'm a wizard. I am a receiver. I am going to receive the divine guidance because I am an antenna, a channel connected to this divine presence that has all the answers. So whatever that is, look at it out there. You don't need to be specific. Look at it out there and believe with all your intentionalities and ultimate gratitude for having that and having whatever that is, with such gratitude as if it's already attained, and really see what that feels like in the movie of your mind and how good you'll feel when you have it. And then start taking action. These little nuances, your little wizardry, your divine intelligence, your divine genius will start dropping in what to do next. It'll drop it in. And then you follow that path. You have to trust it. And there's going to be bumps on the way. But that's okay, because there's going to be lessons learned from them. And if you don't have that vision of what you want at this time, it's okay. Spend a little time with Dragon. Go into your creative center and ask your inner wizard, what does that look like? There's many times in my life where I had no idea what to do next. And you know what? Not knowing what to do next is also a place of grace if you look at it as the right opportunity will show up with divine guidance when you know that you're ready. Got to trust that too. Warrior. Look in the mirror. Another birthright. Know that it's going to manifest in multidimensional abundance. That's Knight. Know that's going to happen quicker than you think with Serpent. Know that you're going to be planting the seeds even not knowing what that is. And with Earth, the right synchronicities are going to show up. All of these micro energies are fractals of your wholeness. And your fifth dimensional capabilities, which are our innate inheritance. We are all capable. We all have that in our DNA waiting to be enlightened. And now you have the wind at your sails. From my heart to yours. From my wizard to yours. I'm thrilled to be meeting with you in the universal galactic spirit and hanging out with our enchanted receptivity. Not only to evolve our personal consciousness and manifest our desires, but to shift consciousness for our planet. In Lakesh, I am another yourself. Next up, we will talk about accomplishment and how we are using our beingness to express what we want to express in the world. First by healing, cleaning out the old in order to express our accomplishments. Much love to you.